I just had to make this video. These are, in my mind, the two most iconic baseball cards, and both of them shaped the hobby in different regards and different aspects. But these are my two favorite baseball cards, and there's a lot of cool cards out there. And it seems like there's always something to add to your collection, which makes collecting fun. But these two cards are my two favorite. Obviously, my favorite vintage card, and now this is kind of, I guess, in some people's eyes, this is becoming a vintage card, but this is my favorite modern card. The '89 Upper Deck. There was such a hysteria attached to this card when I was young, and I remember going to baseball card stores and being 10 years old and not even being able to afford one of these things, and looking at them in the cases, and they were just, the prices were skyrocketing, and on my little allowance I couldn't buy one of these babies. But I think, everybody who collects sports cards, specifically baseball cards, at some point or another has had this card, and I know I'll always have this in my collection. The Mantle is just iconic. Mickey was a huge hero that kind of arose after the big war, and World War II ended, and the United States was looking for someone to kind of be a hero, and Mickey was this small town guy that rose up and was an amazing baseball player on the most popular baseball team in the history of the world. And both of these guys are legends, and both of them are obviously in the Hall of Fame. And but there's, in my mind, these two cards always will kind of be together: the vintage iconic card and the modern iconic card. And in many ways, these two guys have a lot of similarities. Mickey had a great career, but he could have had so many more record-breaking years had he not had the injuries he had, and he also lived a pretty wild lifestyle, partying with Whitey Ford and those guys, and he didn't achieve what many think was his full potential. And the same with Griffey. Griffey, I don't think got into the hardcore partying, but Griffey was hampered with injuries towards the end of his career, and in my mind, he was the best home run hitter of the modern era. He just had that beautiful swing, and Griffey was a guy all the people my age looked up to. But yeah, he had those injuries. I heard a story that I loved. Right after Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa broke the yearly home run record, I heard a story about Barry Bonds coming to Griffey, and he basically pulled him aside and said, "Hey, look, we both are better home run hitters than these guys, but they're juicing. These guys are taking steroids. Why don't you and I juice this next year, and we'll completely crush their records?" And Griffey said, "That's not me. That's on you if you want to do it, but I'm gonna stay above board, and I would rather not have the record than cheat and get it." And I remembered hearing that story, and I always thought that was a pretty cool story, and it showed a lot about his character. But these two cards will forever, in my mind, be the two most iconic baseball cards, and for that reason tied together in my mind, and the Mick and Ken Griffey Jr. Great cards. Didn't know how to end this video other than adios.